We resume our conversation on My Fuel today with a look at the structure of the petroleum downstream industry. This conversation is aimed at deepening the understanding of consumers in the oil distribution sector. In the studio with us is Kweku Ajimandia, Chief Executive of the Association of Oil Marketing Companies. Mr. Ajimandia, thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you.
So what is the petroleum downstream sector?
Basically, when you talk about petroleum downstream sector, it starts from, we have got upstream, and we've got a midstream. Some places they call it midstream, and some places there's no midstream. We just upstream and downstream. That is, the midstream, downstream starts from the oil refinery, where we have the product from the upstream processed from the oil refinery through to the consumer. That's what we have downstream. And in the downstream, we have got a lot of players, the big time players, and then we talk about the auxiliary ones that we have. The big time players we have are basically the oil traders, those guys who trade the oil, the fuel. They've got the BDCs, bulk distribution companies. They've got the AOMCs. Of course, in between the BDC and AOMCs, we tend to have the transporters, which we have the tanker owners, we have the tanker drivers in between to be able to get the product to the retail outlets. In Ghana, for instance, what we have almost about 160 OMCs and LPGMCs. It's a real competitive environment.
And by OMCs, you mean oil marketing companies?
LPGMCs are the LPG marketing companies.
Okay.
So together we have about 160 now, counting.
Wow.
Counting.
There's a lot of companies.
The retail outlets we buy our fuels, we have close to 4,000 now. We are 3,945 now. We are counting. And they continue, you see that they are increasing around the place. On transporters, we got about over 3,000. We call it BRVs. We call it tankers. Moving around the streets.
Those we see
around in town, moving around.
Where do they come in the value chain?
The transporters.
The transporters.
Yeah, they normally move. There are two ways. They move from the depot. That's where we have the refined products, to the retail outlets where you and me buy our fuel from.
Okay.
Then also they also move between one depot to the other. For instance, we move product from Tema depot to the Kumasi depot to Bupe depot. It's all a depot to depot.
Okay.
They transport the one. Now we have a bigger trucks. I mean, they take about 54,000 liters.
Wow.
And you can imagine 54,000. For me, it's about the highest we find in the world. In places where even their roads are very good, we are having about 45,000 maximum. We have roads and we are talking about 54,000 massive ones. So we have those sizes up to 13,500, which is a smaller one. Smaller one.
Interesting. It's a very eye-opening conversation. You mentioned the BDCs, which of course are the bulk oil distribution companies. But the traders, who are these traders? How do we interface with them? It's
not directly you as a consumer, me as a consumer don't interface. They interface with the BDCs.
Okay.
They are the ones who get the market and find out this place have got fuel here, we can bring it into the country, and the BDCs pick it up and make sure that they get into the depots. And the oil marketing companies will pay for the depots to the retail outlets by ordering. And by the license that we have per the MPA, is the oil marketing companies who sell products through the retail outlets directly to you and me, consumers, or to the bulk people like the mining companies. Like the contractors, like the Nestle, like the factories. We do that.
So it's the oil marketing companies who run the filling stations?
Who run the filling stations.
Good. And the BDCs run the depots where the filling stations go for their fuel?
Not necessarily. You can be a BDC without having a depot. You can just lease it or go and rent it like a warehouse. They have a product in there and they serve you.
Okay.
So we have close to about 44 BDCs and none of them own the depots.
So who owns the depots?
It's like warehouse depot, and you can own a depot and have a warehouse, and they only put the product just like warehouse. You put the stuff in, and they take it out. You charge them for a fee for keeping the product for them, and that's what depots are.
Interesting. So these are just warehouses that are owned by other individuals.
So you can be in the industry and owning the depot.
Oh, okay.
It's good business.
Sounds like you need a lot of money to enter it.
Yeah.
Yes. So again, a lot's going there. Does that mean that the traders deal internationally?
Oh yes, basically they are supposed to be international. We know oil is international trade, and it's not really with us. So you need to come around and see where effectively you can get not even the price alone, but the quantity somebody needs.
And this is refined fuel.
Refined fuel, yes.
That means then that, for instance, if I'm talking about the Tema oil refinery, if that was working the way we expected it to, then we should have traders who would supply our BDCs and our OMCs.
Yeah. What happens is that in a situation where you have oil refinery, the oil refinery may deal directly with the BDC or the OMC as it wishes. You know, we have an issue of where our oil refinery is under capacity. So we have to really import some to supplement what they have. It only takes care of about 40% of our needs. You know, so obviously the 60% have to be imported, and it's continuing growing. So if you're able to get the refinery working pretty well, we may not need to do any imports. There are some countries where they don't do imports at all because the oil refineries have to scratch in terms of capacity. So it helps well.
Yeah, that would help your business.
Exactly. And it helps all of us, you see, because when you look at if you are producing internally, obviously you don't need forest matter. Importing this quantity, 350,000 metric tons every month with forest, obviously you are really in a situation. Yeah.
350,000 metric tons. How much is that in monetary terms?
Oh, it's a lot. And then you need to put my cap on. That's a lot of money. There's a money for us.
We'll try and crunch those numbers. Exactly. But let's talk about the NPA. What role do they play?
Yes, you know, all these I mentioned about our operators. The rest are regulators. We have regulators. It's one industry we've got many regulators. You know, NPA is supposed to be the mother regulator on the petroleum. You can't do anything on the petroleum except NPA. Then we have those ancillaries which help NPA to perform, like Ghana Standards Authority, like Fire Service, like Environmental Protection, Factory Inspectorate. They have town, we call them, I used to be calling it town and country planning. They call it some special, there's a big word for them.
Land use and special.
Land use and special thing, yeah. They're all involved. Then we have the MMDCs, that's the local authority. First and foremost, you want to have a station in the place. They are the people you see first, you know, and so with all these people, they all have got eyes on us. That's why sometimes it's difficult when people think they put a station without the authority. It cannot happen. I remember I got a friend from Dutch who came around and he was talking about it and said he never knew that our industry is well structured. It is well structured. But obviously, human beings as we are, people try to find ways and means. And that's what we need help to be able to crush them. So once you get hold of them, like this illegal fuel, you know, we have all kinds of things we are doing. Now we are trying to extend it further to be able to get them into the loop.
But before we get to that, the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers recently held a news conference. I'm sure you saw it, where Duncan Ama, the executive secretary, showed 3 variations of fuel, one of very dark color, one almost clear, saying that the very dark colored fuel is being filtered into the market through illegal means, and there must be a crackdown on that. You are an AOMC. How serious is this situation?
Oh yeah, it is. I mean, I've not seen it. I wish he can show us where he picked those fuel, and we go after those people, because we are working with MPA and the BDC.
Yeah, so those are the bottles on your screen.
I'm happy about this.
The one on the far right is what he says is on the market. That's the totally illegal one. The one on the far left, interestingly, was being refined locally, but it wasn't up to scratch. The one in the middle, that is what is being imported by the BDCs now.
Yes. What is happening is that we know that even though the fight started somewhere last 2 years on the illegal fuel. But we still have perception that there's some of them around. And I'm happy he, being a consumer, we're all consumer, and he be a consumer chief, he's able to identify this. But we wish it doesn't stop there. If he can get us informed and get the MPA informed, we'll be able to get a hold of them. Of late, the national security has been doing a very good job on this. They got some Navy people on the seas, and they got some of these canoe fishermen working on some of these fuel, and they got them up. So we wish we can get information, then we go ahead and support the cause to remove it. Illegal fuel is not good for us too. You know, it's not like we are doing that. The innocent ones in the industry who are trying to follow all the regime to become very good and supply you and very good fuel, they cannot make ends meet because these guys capture the market. And if you have a station, you go out there, you see the people sleeping because there's no consumer coming. And that's worrying. And if consumer comes and take your product, it doesn't only destroy, and the product is bad. Yeah. It doesn't only spoil your branding. You know, it goes in and supplies certain things. And you have a lot of measures in place. It's true. What happens is that you don't see the fuel. But if you have any means to let us know, we'll be ready to work with you. I've had a lot of intel. I mean, Hassan Tampoli is doing a fantastic job on this one. We really, and almost every now and then we talk about this and put things in place. Some of them are security issues I can't divulge here, but it shows that we are making a lot of progress.
So in simple terms, the AOMCs or the OMCs are the filling stations we buy from?
It's not only that. We also lay with the bulk consumers. And also even the ships, the bunkering that we do on the ships.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because the ships...
They need a lot of fuel
to move on. And we do bunkering even for the oil rigs that we have in the with the deep water people. We do that. Anywhere you see oil, even in plane, the aviation fuel, we are there.
Now, you said earlier that there are 3,945 stations.
Stations we have.
Individual stations.
I don't even know what you mean by individuals. Owning. No, it's 3,945 stations we have in the country.
So let me ask it this way. There's a brand called Brand A. I don't want to...
I like that. I like that.
Market any brand. So let's say Daniel Daze Fuel.
Right.
There could be a Daniel Daze station as Coco Blamely. There could be one at Ashongman. Do those count as two separate stations?
Yes, separate stations, the same sort of performance because they are location.
Okay.
And what we have is that the OMCs, there are various modes of owning the stations. There are people who own them individually, like Daniel Daze can own one, okay, but it's sponsored by the OMC.
Okay.
The OMCs are supposed to sponsor the other, you cannot exist on your own. It's like the Trinity. One cannot exist without the other, but they have to be together. And the one who has the brand is the one who, whenever there's an issue at the station, we hold the fellow responsible.
So what we are trying to understand is these 3,945 are not the brands; they are the individual stations.
Yeah, stations under the
brands. Yeah. Thank you. There's a street in Takrady, where I'm from. In fact, when you're driving into Takrady, I have personally counted about 20
for a stretch
stations on that stretch.
Yeah.
So many of them.
Yeah.
Why?
And I can also cite example of places where you can drive for 20 kilometers, you don't see any station, or you see only one.
Yes.
So normally we are driven by volumes, the market. Where there's a population, we will always go there. Like you go to a Sherman, you see a lot of stations along the road. And it's volume because where people are is where we are supposed to be. Supply them fuel. And of course, the adverse effect is that sometimes you may not get a volume. And it happens. In fact, I'm not saying 3,945 because I'm happy we have a number of stations like that. But at the end of the day, the average throughput becomes less. I remember way back 2009, average throughput for a station was about 150,000 liters.
What's average throughput?
Throughput is how much volume you can push through your station in a particular month.
Okay.
And this is, I'm talking about a combination of petrol and diesel.
Okay.
So we had about 150,000 liters, which was average, helps you to make your money and get the decent stuff. Now, when the illegal fuel came in, we're going up like 45,000. Can you imagine? And the biggest one that we know, again, I don't mention it, was doing, even that one was doing 120,000. And those when we make 150,000, that one was making about 300,000. So it's not too good. But you know, the rule that we have with the MPA Act is that once somebody satisfies the conditions of licensing, you need to give the federal license. So the MPA have to set up the conditions for licensing, and if you can meet it, no matter how stringent they are, you get a license.
Because the number does look small compared to the population of the country, but because they are concentrated in
exactly, it depends on where they are concentrated. And I can also give you examples of countries where the stations are more. I mean, I take a Greece for instance. What's the population of Greece? they have more than 5,000 outlets. But I can give you another one, like South Africa, which is 57 million people over there, and they have stations which is 4,000. Overseas are 30 million. So it depends on the economic things that we have in the country and also the locations.
Right, Mr. Kwekwa, it was a very enlightening conversation.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for
always welcome
joining us.
Welcome.
We hope that after listening to Mr. Jimangia, you have a better understanding of what the downstream sector means in the first place and what's done there.